It's Monday, July the 31st, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. As Cropover 2017 moves to a climax, Barbadians are being assured of a safe time. Against the backdrop of a disturbing video circulating on social media threatening police officers, Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Cranston Brown, says his agency has been collaborating with the police to ensure the right security measures are in place to protect citizens.
I think that's wickedness on behalf of some persons in society. But we have been working closely with the police all along through the festival. They actually sit in our organizing committee. They have a representative there, and we have met with the High Command, and we have measures in place, and we are comfortable. And we'll do everything along with the Royal Barbados Police Force to make sure that Barbadians enjoy Cropover.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education is suggesting that some parents in Barbados are raising killers. Ronald Jones told a fundraising function of the Lynch's Secondary School alumni at the Clock Tower, the Garrison, Saturday night, that lenient parental practices these days are leading to indiscipline among young people.
The reality of our nurturing was embedded in all of us. So we weren't random killers. We weren't killers at all. We were developers of a nation. Today, the license to kill has been given by those parents who just give their children a license to do foolishness and not to be part of the formative development of themselves or their families. Mommy, I want some food, and don't care if you're 23, when you should be working somewhere, you can still get a bowl of food. There's an argument that several of our families are dysfunctional. And we're not talking about what some people consider to be the ideal family. We've never really had large numbers of ideal families in Barbados, but we've had structures that help form and make that family work. Grandparents across the way, or in the same village, or in the same gap. Aunts and uncles who stepped up to the plate to ensure that younger children benefited from family socialization.
In sports now, one of the greatest athletes of all time and the fastest man on planet Earth will be saying goodbye to the track during the World Championships, which begin in London on Friday. Usain Bolt, the man who reshaped the record book and saved his sport, is expected yet again to produce goals when he sprints the 100 meters and Jamaica's 4x100 relay. Many are asking the difficult question, who can possibly replace the lightning bolt when he leaves?
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for one year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody ain't want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Mom, are you still there? Oh, she put it down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In regional news now, authorities in Jamaica are this morning trying to get to the bottom of a fire that destroyed 19 vehicles and a house over the weekend. The blaze, which started at a garage, also gutted the living quarters of a caretaker assigned to Imperial Optical Jamaica. Some of the cars were spared greater damage by being driven or pushed out of the compound. Deadly protests rocked Venezuela on Sunday as voters broadly boycotted an election for a constitutional superbody that unpopular leftist President Nicolas Maduro vowed would begin a new era of combat in the crisis-stricken nation.
Violence in the streets of Venezuela in protest of President Nicolas Maduro's controversial vote Sunday to elect a legislative superbody that would have the power to rewrite the constitution and give sweeping authority to his ruling Socialist Party. Voters trickling in as opposition parties boycott what they call a rigged election, clashing with government security forces. Reuters correspondent Girish Gupta is in Caracas.
And here in Caracas, you can see youths mainly in balaclavas setting fire to trash. They're putting roadblocks up. The city has essentially come to a standstill, as has much of the country. But turnout, however, is not that big across the country, and that's bad news for Nicolas Maduro. Actually, just 2 weeks ago, the opposition held an unofficial referendum, which didn't mean anything, but symbolically was huge. And they showed 7 million people, they said, who did not support today's events.
And on the international scene, Russia is expelling 755 U.S. diplomats from Moscow, said to be the largest expulsion of diplomats from a country in modern history. In retaliation for new U.S. sanctions against Moscow, President Vladimir Putin has told them to get out by September the 1st. The decision to expel staff was made on Friday, but Mr. Putin has now confirmed the number who must go by September the 1st.
No matter how you cut it, it's obviously a very significant reduction in the amount of people employed by the United States in their various diplomatic missions in Russia. They've got an embassy, of course, in Moscow, the Russian capital, and there's 3 consulates around the country as well, where there is a mixture of US citizens employed on diplomatic status, and, of course, Russian nationals as well, who are employed to carry out certain functions that the embassy undertakes. And so what's not clear at the moment, and this is a story that's been floating around on state media at least since yesterday, what's not clear is what the exact makeup of those cuts will involve. The President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has come out and confirmed what state media was already reporting 24 hours ago. In fact, if anything, he's upped the number of people that the diplomatic missions have to be reduced by, saying that it's now 755 people. Again, we don't know exactly what the proportion of US citizens will be, but as I say, whichever way you cut it, I mean, this is a significant rebuke to the United States, and it's a significant part of Russia's retaliation for this US sanctions bill passing so overwhelmingly in the US Congress. And there's also been some other measures taken as well. The diplomatic compound outside of Moscow has been seized by the Russians. It's the embassy dacha. It's called a sort of Russian country house. Also, a storage facility in the Russian capital has been confiscated by the Russian government as well. And all this is, for the Russians, a long overdue response, is what the Russians call it.
And that's news and the sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.